So what are you cooking tonight?
Looks like leg of lamb. Okay. I know we were saying the other day, it's like, oh, we're not doing nothing extravagant, but this was on sale during the holidays. So we're going to go ahead and I just defrosted it and figured, hey, why not? Okay. Nice Sunday dinner. Just going to cut this open, pull it all out, pat it dry. Okay. Oh, what was that?
That's
That was a cap or something. Okay, so we're just gonna pat this dry. I don't think there's gonna be so much blood on there. All right, and what we'll do here is and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and we're going to, before we do anything, we're going to go ahead and poke a couple holes in here. I'm going to put some seasoning in it. Now this lamb,
it's huge.
it's kind of like the first time I'll do a leg of lamb. I think the last time we did something, I don't even think we've ever done a lamb before. So it's kind of new for us. We wanted this over the holiday. I saw this on the holidays, during the holidays. For every like Christmas, remember, you know how we do?
It was like New Year's.
New Year's or something? Yeah, because a couple years ago we decided to try something different than something other than the turkey and that kind of deal. So we did a goose, and that was kind of fun. We did a goose. We've done a duck. And figured this year, why not? Let's try to do a leg of lamb. But we never got around to it. It was in the freezer, and I was like, you know what? Let's use it. So what I'm doing here is just loading it up with some garlic. It'll kind of like, you know, season it from the inside out. Cut them in halves. Just jam them in here a little bit. And what we're gonna do is I got a roasting pan on the stove, and I'm going to coat this up a little bit, and then we're gonna sear it. Let's see. Kind of seal in the flavors. All right.
This is our first lamb that you're cooking, huh?
Yeah.
We done a duck before.
Well, we did a gyros and all that kind of stuff with lamb before, but it was ground lamb.
Oh yeah.
Remember that when we did the gyro? The gyros, however you want to pronounce it. Okay, so that goes there, and just kind of at random. I'm also gonna cover it in oil and. Big hunking piece of belly. Alright. Flip it over.
You're gonna do the same?
Couple holes, yeah, why not? We don't have to really marinate lamb because it's already pretty much a tender cut of meat. You know, you really don't want to ruin something like that. So, lamb can be served medium rare to medium. And let's see here. All right. Internal temperature about like what 145 or something like that. Okay. Okay. I got this here. Let's put another. There's a bone, so I'll put that there. Okay, so got that ready. All right, let me get some paper towels here. All right, so got that good old olive oil. This is gonna roast on like 350, 355 for about maybe 2 hours, hour and a half, something like that. Pretty much, we'll check the internal temperature on it, and then we'll go from there. Okay, and
That's a big old pie.
we got some salt. Okay, so basically nothing too fancy. I'm not gonna do rosemary and which is pretty much like traditional with lamb. It popped out somewhere. Oh well. And so we're just gonna use salt, pepper, garlic.
Give it a massage.
We're not Greek, so you know this is done a couple different ways. You know, we're not. If we were to do a stew, that'd be kind of cool too, because it is St. Patty's Day, I think, today,
Yes.
and that would be kind of like a traditional type thing. We have like lamb stew. I think that's one of those. I think they have that. You know, Mexicans call it birria or something like that. All right, so. All right, so that's just gonna sit there a little bit. And what I'm gonna do now is I got the roasting pan, same roasting pan that I'm gonna use to cook it with. I'm gonna go ahead and sear off some of the meat. So, all right. A little olive oil. All right. All right, I should hear a little sizzle there. Crank that up. Let me try to find my little
Oh wow, that's good.
I don't have nothing to grab onto or anything like that.
I guess we weren't prepared for that. You were just trying to sear it?
Yeah, we're just searing it. Searing it just kind of, seals it up a little bit, puts a little crust on there. So when we pop it in the oven, it's not going to completely like dry out, you know. Okay, so we'll put that there. I could have gone through with a knife and then kind of deboned it, but you know, it's got the bone. The bone lends a lot of flavor to it when you know, you get a lot of the bone marrow coming out, stuff like that. Good stuff. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is, I guess, transfer it over. Transfer it over to here. Chopped up some onion. Couple cloves of garlic. This is going to catch all the drippings. I really don't need that on right now. So it's going to roast in this pan here, the onions and all that. And the reason why I'm going to use this little roasting tray type thing is because if I use the other one, it's going to be a lot of, if I use this, it's going to stick to a lot of this right here. I really didn't want that. I want the bottom to get kind of cooked up as well, pretty evenly. And we're going to go actually fat cap up, which is that part right here, all the fat, so it's not going to really dry out. It'll get crisp. And most of the fat will kind of drizzle down a little bit. Alright, I've already got the oven preheated. I'm going to go ahead and transfer it into the oven. And it's going to go at 350 for a little while. Come back in about, let's say, we'll take a look at it in about 45 minutes or so, see where we're at, okay? All right, see you then.
And we're back.
Okay, all right, let's go ahead. We're at about the 40-minute mark or so, and we're just gonna pull this out a little bit, see where it's at. One thing I forgot to mention was we added a little bit of water in there so the onions and the garlic won't completely burn up or anything. I have a little thermometer here, so we're just going to kind of check, see where we're at on temperature. Alright, once it hits to like 145 or whatever, yeah, so we still got plenty of time for it to go, so it's barely going to hit at like barely 100 degrees. So alright, so we still got plenty of time for that. So what I'll do is I'm just going to start prepping some vegetables, because all the drippings, the onion, the garlic, that's all going to simmer down. And what we'll do is we'll later on we'll add some mushrooms to it, kind of soften it up a little bit, maybe a little bit of beef stock to create a little gravy, and it's got something to pour over the roasted potatoes and the slices of meat. Okay, so now I'm just going to prep some vegetables here: cauliflower, some squash. Alright. Get these ready ahead of time.
What are you going to use the cauliflower for?
Just gonna roast the cauliflower. I made a little buttered garlic for basting liquid, So maybe I can drizzle some of that on top of this, and we'll go with that. Okay, so that's all the leaves.
So what should we cook next?
I don't know.
Rabbit, goose.
See you, rabbit. No, we're gonna do the probably like simpler dishes, stuff that we can do during
Well, at
the week.
least once a week, like
Yeah, I
or
know.
once a month.
Once a month, something crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that. We're already doing it anyway.
Like
so.
quail. Just kidding.
Yeah, there's my sister told me about this one market, you know, that they serve they sell quail, stuff like that. That's at Lamb's Market over on 67th and Indian School or something like that. So we could probably try that out. That'd be kind of fun.
You'll probably have to get like 5 little quails.
More than that, they're only like that big. You know? They're smaller than
Like 2 for each.
right. So we got a little bit of cauliflower, some squash. I'll start roasting the potatoes a little bit later. Actually, I can probably just kind of prep them up now and cutting them in quarters. Put these on in olive oil, and then salt and pepper. Let them roast in there for a while. These are going to take a while because they're nice and thick. So kids are getting tired of not having potatoes, stuff like that. It's like, I don't want to do your diet, Dad. I'm like, yeah, I know. So it's for them and you. I can't have them. Okay, so let's go ahead and pop them on there. I've already kind of washed them, took them through a little scrubber, got all the dirt, knocked off all the dirt and stuff I got off of them, so they're good to go. There's salt and pepper, the garlic. I'm going to mix it all up. And since these are potatoes, these are going to take quite a bit because normally you bake a potato on like 400 for like 40 minutes or so. So I'll go ahead and pop these in there and we should be good. Set it and forget it. Alright, we'll be back in just a little bit.
We'll be back. And we're back.
Oh, we're back? Okay. Alright, let's take a look at this now. Okay, the potatoes been roasting for a few minutes, about 30 minutes or so. They're doing alright. We're going to pull this out a little bit, take a look at it. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, it looks kind of good, huh? Alright, so I'm going to put the thermometer in there for a little bit. Let's take a look. So it looks like it's about 100 and almost 120. So we still got a little bit more to go. If we pull this out, you're going to see a little bit of red blood coming out. Yeah, so it's not quite done all the way. Okay. When you take your temperature, you want to not hit the bone because the bone, the heat transfers all the way through it, so it'll give you like a different reading. But you still want to stick it like in the thickest part of the meat. All right. So that's going to go in for a little longer. We'll leave that go. And we're looking at about another 30-40 minutes. It'll be like medium rare or so. Okay. I made a little garlic butter here. I got a couple tablespoons of butter. And then melted 2 sticks of butter with that. That's going to be for, you know, a little bit of basting maybe later on. And I'm also going to throw this on the cauliflower, you know, give it some flavor, stuff like that. And we'll do that in just a few minutes. Thanks.
So we're back.
Okay, and let's take another look at this here. Alright, we're about 15-20 minutes later. So that seems to be going pretty good. The potatoes, Okay, they're starting to brown a little bit, so it's about that time I'm going to start throwing in the rest of these vegetables. Okay. Here's some of that oil I was talking about earlier. It's just melted butter with pieces of garlic all over it. A couple tablespoons of garlic. So I got basically, what's it called? Garlic butter. You can run it through like a little food processor or run it through like a strainer and mush it. You know, so it'll be like a little paste. It's kind of nice, like, you know, on some bread and stuff. We eat a lot of garlic bread and stuff like that, so it's kind of nice. Okay, a little salt and pepper. Not too much because the butter's got a lot of salt. Okay, we'll throw a little pepper on it. Coarse ground pepper. Okay. Alright. Do a little bit on the squash here. Not too much. The squash, I can probably put this on a little bit later because this is not going to take a long time to cook. So let's go ahead and put this in there first. And then we'll come back and put the squash in because it's only going to take about 5 or 10 minutes. Okay. This is a little bit harder. They're completely raw, so it's going to take a little more time to cook. I'll pop these right here and we'll check back in about 20 minutes or so. So here we are. Oh, about an hour later. And it's looking real good. In between, I opened it up and I threw some of that butter and garlic. As you can see, some of the garlic is up on top of it. We're going to stick the thermometer in there and we're going to get a reading of a little over 140, 145. Well, 140. And it's still going. It'll take a little bit to get up there. Yeah, about 140 something. The juice is coming out a little pink, but it's mostly clear. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it out, let it rest. Well, while that's resting, the vegetables are still kind of cooking. And then we got cauliflower, the squash, and the potatoes. Those are just about done. So I'll probably just turn off the oven, let them sit there, and let them maintain some heat. And I'm just going to make like a real quick sauce. I'm going to pull this out, put it on the cutting board. Okay. Oh, I guess I'm out of foil. Oh, that's enough. Alright, so we're just basically going to put this here and let it rest. Generally, when you let something rest, it's usually about 20-30 minutes or so. So, because what basically happens, it continues to cook. The heat from the bone and all that, so that's going to continue doing what it's doing. What I'm going to do now is just strain off the juices here. Alright, there we go. Okay, some of this garlic will just kind of mash up really, really nice. You know, if you wanted to, you can kind of push through the onions, all that, or get like a blender, like an immersion blender, put it in there, mush it all up. And this is, you know, kind of thicken up the gravy if you would like. You don't always have to necessarily push it all the way through. But just kind of to thicken it up a little bit. Alright, so that's cool. Alright, so now what we're going to do is going to throw a little bit of butter. And what the butter will do, it'll kind of give it a little, it'll thicken up a little bit. If you wanted to, you could throw like a little bit of cornstarch in here. A little cornstarch slurry to tighten it up, make it a little bit thicker like a gravy or something. But we're not going to do that. I'm still trying to stick on through to the low carbs. So adding the roux or adding flour or cornstarch, you just kind of be putting extra carbs for no reason. The butter does a really good job. It'll give it like a little, what's that called? Silkiness to it. Give it a little taste. Oh yeah, it's got a nice sweet little taste to it. What do you think?
Oh wow.
You can taste the onions and the garlic, huh?
Yes.
See, if you wanted to, I think what I'll do is I'm going to add a little bit of beef bouillon to it. Give it more of a little bit of a meaty flavor. And that's just adding a little bit of that. Okay. And then we're just going to season it to taste. Yeah, there we go. That's better, huh?
Yeah. It
Okay.
has a little bit like salt.
Yeah, a little bit more of a little
I was just
rounded
thinking
out
that's
flavor.
gonna be
You're like, yeah, it's kind
that
of.
lamb is gonna be gonna last us all a week or something.
Oh yeah, I know. It's gonna be great. So that's done. Okay. So with that finished, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and just start plating it up right now. All right, let's make some room here. Oh, see, you can see all the juices running down, nice and pink. Okay. So what I'll do is, let's go ahead and pull that off. All right. Okay.
You need help moving it?
Nope, I'm just gonna move this over here. Put that right there. Okay. And what I'll do is we will start with a couple slices. All right. Generally, these are one of the ways you can do it here. You go down this way. And what's going to happen is they're going to remain on the bone. And you can cut your slices across like that. Okay. You can cut them as thick as you'd like. And it's kind of cool how it does that. So that works. Okay. And then what's going to happen is I'm just going to shave that off right here across like that. And you can see the garlic stuck to it right there. Looks really nice. Okay. Put that down. Alright, so there we go. You can see the garlic slices in there. 3. Alright. And you can see how it's nice little pink color all the way through. And we'll go ahead and add the vegetables. Alright. There's some potatoes there. Alright. And then let me get some. Oh, it's a nice little color there. I like that. Alright. A little bit of squash. Some greens. Okay. Put that back for now. And then what I'll do here, a little bit of the gravy. And we're just going to drizzle that over that. And there we go. Our roasted lamb, some roasted potatoes, and roasted vegetables. All right. Thanks for joining us. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit the notifications, and just cooking. Thanks for coming.
Have a good night.